What's up, everyone? I am back. I had to take a brief break because of COVID, and so I didn't have access to the computer at my office, and so I couldn't do any of this recording. I'm going to give you all a quick rundown of last week's election, as well as some breaking news, and then let's talk a little bit about what is happening in our country right now. Before we get started with the news, if you're watching this video, I want to ask that you please go hit that subscribe button on my homepage, like this video, and share it with your friends. I don't have a marketing team or a big fancy studio, so all my video traffic comes through you, my viewers. So what are you waiting for? It only takes 2 seconds to go to my homepage and subscribe. If you like my content, if you would like to see more of it, if you want to be part of helping my channel grow and combating fake news and false narratives floating around the social media sphere, subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. And if everyone who watched this video shared it one time, I would be the biggest YouTube channel by the end of the year. All right. I want to get into what happened with the election because there is a ton of information, and there are a couple other things I want to talk about, but I want to go over briefly what I experienced with COVID. So it started Sunday night. The Sunday night before the election, I had this pretty bad cough, and then Monday morning I woke up and I was just dead. I had a fever of about 101. My fever got up to 102 at one point and stayed there pretty consistently for the next couple of days. But I had a pretty high fever. I had a cough. Man, I felt like I was coughing up my lungs. It was miserable. I was cold. It was like 77 degrees in my house, and I was freezing, which is ridiculous. Usually I'm really hot at that point. And I was achy, and I was tired, and I just didn't want to do anything, and oh my gosh, I was so tired. But I mean, like, it makes sense that you're tired and all you want to do is sleep if you're that sick, because, hey, it takes a lot of energy for your body to fight off an infection. But, so that was all of Monday, and so then Tuesday comes around, and me and my wife, we go get tested. She tested negative somehow. I don't understand how, but so she tests negative. My test comes back positive on Thursday, so we're out Tuesday, and probably shouldn't have done this, but we went ahead and went and voted, even though I had an outstanding COVID test, and man, I could barely walk. So we went and voted, and then Wednesday, I canceled youth group at my church, and I didn't go anywhere, and I had to find subs for to cover shifts at work, and Lord, oh Lord, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday were just so bad. But then Thursday, I started to feel a little better. I guess I could talk normally. I was really congested. The headache was gone. Oh my gosh, the headache was so bad. All of Monday and Tuesday, I had the worst headache I have had in my entire life. I laid in bed all day, with the exception of Tuesday going to get tested. Wednesday, the headache was still there. Fever started to come down. But then Thursday, my test comes back positive. And by that time, I'm already starting to recover. And so it's like, man, I still have to quarantine for another week. And so that sucked. I had to quarantine up until yesterday. So now I am a free man. I could not leave the house from Sunday to the following, was that yesterday? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So 11 days I had to quarantine. And couldn't do anything. And it really, really sucked. I hated every single moment of it. There was one point, Thursday, Friday morning, I looked at my wife and I said, I have to get out of the house. And she looks at me and says, you can't. You have to stay here. I think I walked down the street to get the mail from our mailbox. But up till today, that's about the most I'd left the house in the past 10 days. Oh, man. As you can see, I've still got a little bit of a cough. Comes up every once in a while, rears its ugly head. But that's pretty much it. No more fever, no more headache, no more aches. I'm ready to go. All right, now, before we get to the news and the election, like I said, there is a ton of information to cover with the election. But first, good news, everyone. The pandemic is over. Pandemic over. So let me switch over to this. Tweet by Andy No. Antifa started a fire in front of the Portland Police Center precinct tonight. So this would have been last night. Oh, good Lord. Good news, everyone. You can't go to church and sing and worship Jesus. You can't go out and vote in person. You can't go to the grocery store. You have to have it delivered to your house. But hey, As long as you're protesting racial injustice, you can go out and do whatever you want. Or how about this? As long as you hate Donald Trump, you can go out into the streets and scream, "You're fired, Donald Trump." You can do whatever you want as long as, you're doing what the left wants. Good grief. Joyous New Yorkers poured into the streets Saturday after Democrat Joe Biden defeated Donald Trump to win the White House, erupting in celebration as the business mogul and former star of The Apprentice was told, "You're fired." Okay, quick correction here. Joe Biden has not won yet. Not a single state has come out with their official totals. Yeah, sure, it might look like he's won. And in all actuality, we probably will see him win. But he hasn't won yet. Excuse me. He hasn't won yet. So stop saying that Donald Trump won because he still stop saying that Joe Biden won because Donald Trump still has a pretty legitimate path to victory here. There are still a couple of dozen legal avenues that are being pursued that haven't come to a close yet. And if half of them are granted to Trump and Trump wins, if the Trump campaign wins half of these legal avenues, then Trump will win the election, and it's going to make you look pretty stupid for saying President-elect Joe Biden. Or alternatively, it's going to cause massive uproar. And we're going to see more riots, all because you don't like Donald Trump. This is disgusting. And I want to spend some time to talk about this because it really, really is disgusting. First of all, the media hates Donald Trump so much that they're willing to incite riots and destruction and violence in the streets. All because they hate Donald Trump. They hate Donald Trump more than they want to see America succeed. They hate Donald Trump more than they love America. And man, that is some dangerous medicine. I've said it about Nancy Pelosi this whole time. She hates Donald Trump more than she cares about America. And we see that because she won't sign a single COVID relief bill. Pelosi, that's on you. Man, this is crazy. The media hate Donald Trump more than they love America. And I don't think that's just exclusively a media thing. I think that's a Democrat thing. The Democrats hate Donald Trump more than they love America, which is why they came out and voted for Joe Biden in record numbers. Right? We over what is it? 76 million Americans voted for Joe Biden now. That's crazy. If this election holds, congratulations, America. You've destroyed the economy. You've destroyed the lives and jobs of millions of Americans and families across the United States, all because you hate the Cheeto Man. All because Orange Man bad. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. Even if Donald Trump is a racist and a bigot and a homophobe, for a moment, I'll give you that for a second, just for the sake of the argument. Even if that's true, are you willing to destroy all of the good things that he has done just to get him out of office and elect a president who will not just discontinue all that he has done, but likely reverse many of the things that he has done? Even if Donald Trump is all of the horrible things you say, is it worth destroying America to get rid of him? Revelers cheered across a city that has sparred for years with the president who rose to prominence in the New York real estate. A reliable Democratic stronghold, the U.S. financial capital's disdain for the Republicans' policies was no secret. In Manhattan, residents yelled and clapped, some waving flags and others banging pots from their balconies as car horns punctuated the applause. Man, that cough really still getting me. This is crazy. This is crazy to me. Americans hate Donald Trump more than they care about the success of their neighbors. And I think we see it most obviously, most prevalent in places like Twitter, which are overflowing with Democrats. 75% Democrat, 80% Democrat. Jennifer Rubin, the quote-unquote conservative, cannot stand this lady, any Republican, now promoting rejection of an election or calling not to follow the will of voters or making baseless allegations of fraud should never serve in office, join a corporate board, find a faculty position, or be accepted into polite society. We have a list. Okay, so a couple of things. You're really going to release this list of Republicans that support Donald Trump. And do what? Are you insinuating that people who voted for Donald Trump don't deserve to be hired on somewhere? Any Republican, anyone that voted for Donald Trump and supported Donald Trump doesn't deserve to be allowed in society? Man, that's pretty fascist. That's pretty fascistic policy. And not only that, any Republican now promoting the rejection of an election or calling to not follow the will of the voters or making baseless allegations of fraud should never serve in office, join a corporate board, find... Dear God. Man, I am really looking forward to the destruction of CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, and all of these other news organizations that touted for 4 years this false Russian allegation. And man, oh man, am I looking forward to the destruction of Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden, showing actual proof that they had business dealings in Ukraine and China and Russia. Oh, Lord. This is gaslighting of the this is such a magnificent, ginormous, massive, huge degree of gaslighting that we have never seen in American politics before. People tweeting out Republicans, the very people who are saying that don't question the election, don't question the process, spent the last 4.5 years declaring that Donald Trump was not duly elected and that Donald Trump is not really the president, hashtag not my president. This is crazy. This is crazy. And I say that advisedly because this is certifiably insane. The very people that spent the last 4 years crying about Russian collusion, which ended up being a big nothing burger, are now saying, accept the results of the election. No questions asked. This is insane. Not only insane because people are actually saying it, but because they're saying things like there's no evidence of voter fraud. The voter fraud isn't real. I'm sorry. There's plenty of evidence of widespread voter fraud across the nation, as this election has carried on and shown us. Thousands of votes in places like Nevada illegally counted. We'll get there. But voting system examination Dominion, Voting Systems Democracy. So this is put out by Texas, Secretary of State of Texas, showing why they didn't use the Dominion voting software. And their biggest complaint, their biggest hesitancy in using it was security issues. And because they have a history of ties to the Democratic National Committee, the Clinton campaign, and this Canadian firm, Dominion, has a history of glitches and votes switching from one candidate to another. And yet, this was still used in upwards of 80% of, 35 states in the country. This software was used in 33 actually, I think, states across the nation. It was used in 80% of Michigan. And we're supposed to be told there's no fraud happening. No, I don't buy it, and neither should you. I don't buy it, and neither should you. Because The Democrats put out, let me go find it real quick. The Democrats put out the Democrats put out this list. Here it is. Laid out their concerns about security and integrity of U.S. elections. So let me pull that over here real quick. What is happening? The Democrats put out this. This is insane. Insane to me. The election systems in 21 states were breached. This is some things over these 11 pages. 21 states were breached. Voter records were compromised, and it's internet accessible, susceptible to hacking or manipulation. Do not believe that this election was fair. Do not believe that this election was secure, because this bill, even by the House Democrats, show it's not. So now we get the Texas Secretary of State. We get House Democrats laying out a bill scared of the election. Do not believe for 1 second that this election was secure, because it wasn't. And then we see Donald Trump pointed out, report, Dominion deleted 2.7 million Trump votes nationwide. Data analysis finds 221,000 Pennsylvania votes switched from President Trump to Biden. 941,000 Trump votes deleted. States using Dominion voting system switched 435,000 votes from Trump to Biden. And half of those were in Pennsylvania. Well, looky what we got here. If this is true, and it's disputed, of course, because it's Twitter and they dispute everything Donald Trump says, even if it is factual. So, pardon me for being hesitant to believe you, Twitter. When you can't even use Google. So this article by Mediaite, Trump goes all caps promoting OAN's One American News Network. Voter fraud conspiracy debunked by the New York Times and others. As the kids on Twitter say these days, President Donald Trump is having a normal one. After an hour-long Twitter frenzy of tweets and retweets that were critical of his once-beloved Fox News, the commander-in-chief pivoted to an all-caps promotion of a debunked conspiracy theory promoted by OANN White House reporter Chanel Rion. Trump cited a report that a company called Dominion, the marker of voting machines used across the country in the November 3rd general election, deleted 2.7 million Trump votes nationwide before listing specific votes switched by state. Yikes. There are a number of unverified, baseless, and largely debunked conspiracy theories that are being promoted in more unhinged parts of Trump's base of supporters. I'm sorry. Time out. I am not part of the Trump base. And I've seen enough to suggest, there's a lot here. There's a lot of smoke for there to be no fire. Unverified, baseless, and largely debunked. No. You not liking something doesn't mean it's baseless and debunked. Right? In fact, the media, the media arms, so New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, ABC, CBS, all of these, the collectively known as the media wing of the Democratic Party, shorthand the media, are the ones saying that there's no election fraud, while at the same time are the ones committing the election fraud. I think Ted Cruz said it best on Steven Crowder's live stream on YouTube a few days ago. If you ask the bank robber if they've robbed any banks, expect them to say no. You're not going to ask a bank robber, did you rob a bank? And if he says no, you're not going to believe him. So what are you saying by this, the media saying that there's no election fraud? They're the ones committing the election fraud. Don't say that it's baseless. Don't say that it's unverified when there are thousands of people willing to commit to this. Thousands of people willing to say in court, yes, I saw this happening. And it's not debunked just because someone says it's debunked. No evidence of voter fraud. My tuchus. President Trump appears to find great comfort in that space, perhaps because it keeps him from admitting that he lost the election to President-elect Joe Biden, whom Trump has derided as the worst presidential candidate in history. Fact check, false. Joe Biden, not the worst presidential candidate in history. Hillary Clinton was the worst presidential candidate in election history. And Joe Biden's not the president-elect yet. Not until every single legal avenue has been closed can we say for certain that Joe Biden is the president-elect. And if those legal avenues do close on Trump, and it still turns out that he's not, that he did lose, probably by a smaller margin, but even saying he did lose, then we will concede and say that Joe Biden is president-elect. But until then, until that moment, it is not. It is not confirmed for Joe Biden to be president-elect, and shame on you, media. Shame on you for deciding early who the president-elect is, and we've allowed this to happen for far too long. Kayleigh McEnany has this, White House Press Secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, has this thread of all of the eyewitnesses, I'll say all of, a bunch of eyewitnesses across different states showing that this election is far from over. There are still legal avenues for Trump to win. We have 234 pages of sworn affidavits under penalty of perjury alleging election irregularities from just one county in Michigan. The allegations are eyewitnesses saw a batch of ballots. 60% had the same signature. Eyewitnesses saw ballots batch scanned 5 times. Eyewitnesses saw 50 ballots fed many times into a scanner. January 1st, 1900 was recorded in poll book as date of birth for many not in book so they could count ballots. 120, no one at the age of 120 is going to be voting this election because they're all dead. 35 ballots counted even though not connected to voter record. Poll workers marking ballots with no mark for candidate. Ballots counted with no signature or postmark. Said deceased son was recorded as voting twice. Provisional ballots placed in tabulation box. More ballots than people in car. That's ballot harvesting, which we talked a little bit about. Ballots received after election were being backdated, and counted. Software that caused error. Failed software that caused error in Antrim County used in Wayne County. GOP challengers not readmitted, but Dems admitted. GOP challengers forced to stay away while Democrats were not. Challengers physically pushed from counting tables by officials. Challengers subject to racial harassment. Challengers gave out packet tactics to distract GOP challengers. Election officials covered windows so that challengers couldn't observe the counting. Officials cheered when GOP challenger ejected. GOP challenges to suspect ballots ignored. Challengers barred from the observation ballot duplication process. All of this is happening in one county in Michigan. One county in Michigan. If this is happening even in just a dozen counties across 3 or 4 states, that's enough to flip the election towards Trump. This is crazy. And there's more evidence too. This Gateway Pundit article. As many as 6,000 illegal votes identified in Nevada. Thousands of people referred to Department of Justice for potential criminal violation of election laws. A law firm working in conjunction with the Trump campaign's legal team has identified as many as 6,000 illegal votes in Nevada. A letter was sent to the Clark County, Nevada District Attorney alleging voter fraud by people who were not legal residents of Clark County. Congratulations, America. Well done. By voting by mail, you have destroyed the democratic process. You've allowed it. You didn't do anything to stop it. In fact, we may have encouraged it. And we let it happen by voting by mail. 100 million ballots cast by mail out of 150 million. 100 million ballots cast by mail, so 2/3. And this is what we get. We've destroyed the integrity of the U.S. democratic system. It wasn't Donald Trump. It wasn't Barack Obama. It wasn't Joe Biden. It was every single person that voted by mail and every single person that promoted voting by mail as safe and secure. Because as we've seen, it wasn't. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys here tomorrow. Like I said at the beginning of the video, please hit that like and subscribe button and share this video with your friends. It is of the utmost importance that you get this information out to as many people as possible. I will see you guys tomorrow.